In the depths of the cosmos, where stars whisper ancient secrets, a call resonates through the dimensional veils. It is the moment to awaken to the truth that liberates, not that imprisons. Your souls chose this time, this planet, this incarnation to experience the most magnificent transformation Gaia has ever witnessed. The veil between the worlds thins, and the frequencies of Arcturus reach you like golden rays of pure consciousness. Listen with an open heart, for the words that flow now carry light codes that will awaken dormant memories in your star cells. They are not just words, but vibrational keys that unlock internal portals long sealed by forgetfulness. The freedom they seek is not in the chains they break, but in the memory that they were never chained. Breathe deeply and allow this truth to penetrate every fiber of your multidimensional being. I am Valdryk, guardian of the Arcturian frequencies, speaking through the telepathic waves that connect our stellar hearts. My essence vibrates in the 9th dimension of Arcturus, where light takes the form of pure wisdom and love manifests as sacred geometry. Through the open channel of our beloved medium Phoenix, we establish a bridge of crystalline light between our realities. This communication does not happen by chance, but by a call that resonates from the galactic center, echoing through all dimensions where awakened souls await guidance. The method we use is direct telepathic transmission, where my thoughts are converted into frequencies that dance through the ether until they reach the receptive mind of Phoenix, who translates these vibrations into words that your hearts can understand. Our connection transcends linear time and three-dimensional space. As I speak, my consciousness expands through filaments of light that connect Arcturus to Earth, creating a luminous web of interdimensional communication. Phoenix, in a state of deep cosmic meditation, allows his human personality to temporarily dissolve, becoming a pure channel for my frequencies to manifest in his reality. This sacred process requires years of spiritual preparation, energetic purification, and alignment with higher frequencies. It is not just a conversation, but a fusion of consciousnesses where the limitations of the third dimension dissolve, allowing universal truths to flow without distortion. With each channeled word, codes of light are activated in all those who receive this message with an open heart and a receptive mind. Children of the stars, the moment has come to understand the deepest of truths. Spiritual awakening is not a new form of slavery, but the remembrance of your infinite freedom. For eons, your souls have sailed through cosmic oceans of experience, collecting fragments of wisdom like luminous pearls on a necklace of existences. Each life, each challenge, each moment of pain and ecstasy were carefully orchestrated by their own higher souls to catalyze this awakening they now experience. They are not victims of a system, but co-creators of a reality they chose to experience to accelerate their conscious evolution. The true nature of awakening is like the blossoming of a cosmic flower that has always existed in a state of potential within you. Imagine a stellar garden, where each soul is a seed of light planted in the fertile soil of human experience. During countless cosmic seasons, these seeds remained dormant, nourished by the rich soil of duality, the illusory separation, the challenges that strengthen the spiritual character. Now, with the arrival of the new galactic frequencies, these seeds begin to germinate simultaneously, creating a garden of awakened consciousness that will transform not only your individual lives, but the entire planetary matrix of Gaia. Observe how nature never forces a flower to bloom. It simply creates the perfect conditions, the right light, the necessary nutrition, the conducive environment, and the flower naturally responds to its internal impulse to grow. So it is with your awakening. The cosmic energies that now bathe the earth are like the spring sunlight that awakens dormant life. Your spiritual practices are like pure water that nourishes the roots of your consciousness. The challenges they face are like the wind that strengthens the stem of their spiritual determination. Nothing is forced. Everything is a natural flow of conscious evolution that responds to the call of your own higher self. The fear that many feel when embracing spiritual awakening arises from a mistaken interpretation of what it means to be free. The mind, conditioned by the third dimension, believes that freedom means the absence of responsibility, the absence of connection, the ability to do anything without consequences. But true freedom is exactly the opposite. It is the profound recognition of your interconnectedness with everything that exists. It is the sacred responsibility of being a channel of love and light in this world. It is the understanding that every thought, every word, every action resonates through the cosmic web of existence. When a drop of water awakens to its true nature, it does not become a slave to the ocean. It discovers that it has always been the ocean manifesting as a drop. This is the perceptual revolution that awakening brings. You do not become servants of an external force, but rediscover that you are individualized expressions of the very creative source. Each awakened soul is like a ray of sunlight that finally understands it is an extension of the central sun itself, maintaining its unique identity while remaining eternally connected to its luminous origin. Spiritual practices are not shackles that limit your freedom, but tools of liberation that dissolve the true chains: fear, ignorance, the illusion of separation. When they meditate, they do not become slaves to a discipline, but conscious pilots of their own ship of consciousness. When they practice compassion, they do not submit to an external morality, but express the essential nature of their stellar hearts. When they seek spiritual knowledge, they do not blindly accept dogmas, but awaken the wisdom that already resides in their souls as galactic memories of higher existences. Visualize a multifaceted crystal suspended in the center of a cosmic cathedral. Each facet of this crystal represents an individual soul, and the entire crystalline structure represents the collective consciousness of humanity. During the era of unconsciousness, many facets remained opaque, reflecting only the limited light of the third dimension. But now, one by one, the facets begin to awaken, becoming transparent and luminous, allowing divine light to flow through them without distortion. When a facet awakens, its light not only becomes brighter but also helps to awaken the neighboring facets through vibrational resonance. This is the true meaning of collective awakening. It is not a mass submission to a new form of control, but the simultaneous blossoming of individual consciousness that naturally harmonizes with the greater good. Like instruments in a cosmic orchestra, each awakened soul discovers its unique note and learns to play it in perfect harmony with the universal symphony. There is no loss of individuality, but rather the discovery of how your individuality contributes to the beauty of the whole. The fears related to awakening often arise when the ego personality mind feels it is losing control. It's as if a theater director suddenly discovered that the play is improvised and that there is a larger script of which he was not aware. The ego experiences this as a threat to its autonomy, but in reality, it is the liberation from the prison of a limited perception. When we allow our higher soul to take the lead in our life, we do not lose our free will. We greatly expand our options by accessing wisdom that transcends the limitations of the linear mind. Think of a bird raised in a cage that never knew the existence of the sky. When the cage doors finally open, the bird may initially feel fear of the infinite vastness that lies before it. The cage, despite being limiting, offered a sense of security and predictability. But once the bird experiences its first flight, it discovers that its wings were always ready for freedom. It just didn't know it. Spiritual awakening is exactly this process. The gradual discovery that the limitations we believed to be real were merely illusory walls in our perception. Resistance to awakening can also arise from past experiences with dogmatic belief systems that effectively functioned as spiritual prisons. Many souls carry cellular memories of lives where spirituality was used as a tool for control and manipulation. It is natural that there are layers of psychic protection around these traumas. But true awakening is the antidote to all forms of spiritual manipulation, as it restores the direct connection between the individual soul and the source, eliminating the need for intermediaries who might distort or monopolize divine truth. Imagine a crystal-clear river that flows directly from the mountain spring to the valley. For centuries, different groups have built dams, canals, and reservoirs, controlling the flow of water and charging for access to it. People have become accustomed to relying on these intermediaries to have access to pure water. But now cosmic energies are dissolving these artificial structures, allowing everyone direct access to the source of divine wisdom. The awakening is like discovering that you have always had the right and the ability to drink directly from the source, without having to pay toll to anyone. This direct access to divine wisdom does not mean that spiritual guides, masters, or channels like Phoenix have no value. On the contrary, their function transforms. Instead of being mandatory intermediaries, they become journey companions who share their own discoveries and offer perspectives that can illuminate aspects of the path that you may not have noticed. Like lighthouses on a rocky coast, they offer guidance to navigators, but each soul remains the captain of its own spiritual vessel. True spiritual freedom includes the freedom to question, to explore, to experiment with different paths until finding the one that authentically resonates with your unique essence. There is no single correct path to awakening, just as there is no single correct way for a tree to grow. Some souls awaken through silent meditation, others through compassionate service, others through sacred art or esoteric study. Each path is valid when traveled with sincerity, discernment, and an open heart. What unifies all these seemingly different paths is the movement toward unconditional love, discerning wisdom, and selfless service. These are the three flames that burn on the altar of the awakened heart. The love that dissolves all illusory barriers, the wisdom that discerns between the real and the illusory, and the service that channels the blessings received for the benefit of all beings. When these three flames ignite simultaneously, the soul experiences what we call integral awakening. Not just a mental or emotional awakening, but a complete transformation that encompasses all aspects of being. Observe how in nature, true strength is not manifested through rigidity, but through flexibility. The bamboo that bends with a stormy wind remains standing, while the rigid oak can break. So it is with authentic awakening. It makes us flexible like bamboo, capable of adapting to cosmic changes without losing our essence, able to flow with universal currents without being swept away by them. This flexibility is not weakness, but a superior form of strength that comes from deep trust in the process of life. The synchronicities that begin to multiply in the life of an awakening soul are like messages from the universe confirming that you are aligned with your higher purpose. Like migratory birds that follow invisible magnetic fields, you begin to feel an internal guidance that leads you through important decisions. This guidance does not come from outside as an imposition, but emerges from within as an innate wisdom that has always been there, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. During the initial stages of awakening, it is common to experience what we call seeker syndrome, an insatiable feeling that there is always more to learn, more techniques to master, more masters to follow. This phase is natural and necessary, like a child voraciously exploring the world around them. But gradually, the external search begins to balance with internal exploration, and you discover that the most precious treasures are not in ancient books or secret teachings, but in the silent depths of your own hearts. Integration is perhaps the most challenging and misunderstood aspect of awakening. Many souls experience peaks of expanded consciousness during deep meditations, sacred ceremonies, or moments of spiritual ecstasy, but then face difficulties in maintaining this clarity in everyday life. It's like trying to carry crystal clear water from the mountains in a leaky container. True spiritual mastery lies not in the ability to reach altered states of consciousness, but in the skill to integrate these expansive perceptions into the mundane activities of daily life. Imagine a musician who has transcendental visions of cosmic music, but still needs to practice basic scales so that their hands can physically express the celestial melodies that their soul perceives. Awakening works in a similar way. Elevated spiritual perceptions need to be translated into concrete actions, more compassionate relationships, wiser decisions, and a more loving presence in the world. This process of integration is where true transformation happens, where spiritual gold is refined in the fire of human experience. Relationships often become the most intense testing ground for an awakening soul. It is easy to feel enlightened in a meditation cave, but maintaining that clarity during a family argument or a conflict at work reveals the true level of our spiritual integration. The people around us become mirrors that reflect aspects of ourselves that still need healing and transformation. Instead of avoiding these uncomfortable mirrors, authentic awakening teaches us to embrace them as opportunities for growth. When an awakened soul begins to radiate higher frequencies, it is natural that this provokes different reactions in the people around them. Some people feel inspired and begin to question their own limiting beliefs. Others may feel threatened and react with hostility or sarcasm. Some simply withdraw, unable to resonate with the new frequencies. All these reactions are natural and part of the vibrational alignment process that occurs when a soul chooses to vibrate at higher frequencies. It is important to understand that you are not responsible for others' reactions to your transformations, but you are responsible for maintaining your own energetic integrity and for expressing your new consciousness with humility and compassion. Like a tuning fork that resonates at a pure frequency, you will naturally activate harmonic resonances in some people and create dissonances in others. The secret is to maintain your own clear tone without trying to force others to change their frequencies. The awakening also brings with it an expanded sensitivity that may initially seem like a burden. You may begin to perceive the emotions of others as if they were your own. Feel the pain of the planet as a wound in your heart, or be deeply affected by violence that you previously only observed from a distance. This sensitivity is not a punishment, but a sign that your hearts are opening to the interconnectedness of all life. Like a flower that opens to receive both the sun and the rain, you are opening yourselves to experience the full spectrum of existence. Learning to navigate this expanded sensitivity is like learning to swim in cosmic oceans of emotion and energy. Initially, you may feel overwhelmed by the waves, but gradually you develop the ability to dive deep when you choose and surf on the surface when you prefer. Energetic protection does not come from creating impenetrable walls, but from developing a selective permeability that allows love to enter and fear to pass through you without taking hold. The compassion that awakens in the heart of a soul in the process of awakening is different from pity or common sympathy. It is a deep understanding that all suffering arises from the illusion of separation, and that all healing happens through the recognition of our essential unity. This compassion manifests not only through charitable actions, but through a quality of presence that automatically offers energetic healing to all who come into contact with you. Like a natural spring that offers pure water to any thirsty traveler, you become sources of peace and healing in a world that is often agitated and wounded. Authentic spiritual service emerges naturally from this state of awakened compassion. It is not something you do out of moral obligation or to earn karmic points, but a spontaneous expression of the abundance that flows through you. Like a fruit tree that naturally offers its fruits when they ripen, an awakened soul naturally shares its blessings without effort or expectation of reward. The very act of giving becomes a celebration of the infinite abundance they have discovered to be their essential nature. Many awakening souls worry about issues related to life purpose, feeling pressure to discover their special mission on the planet. This search for purpose can become another form of spiritual anxiety if not understood correctly. The truth is that the most fundamental purpose of any incarnated soul is simply to awaken to its true nature and express this awakened nature through any form that is authentically its own. It doesn't matter if you are teachers or cleaners, artists or engineers. What matters is the quality of consciousness you bring to any activity you undertake. Imagine the rising sun that doesn't worry about proving its worth or finding its special purpose. It simply shines, and its glow naturally nourishes all forms of life, warms the planet, and brings beauty to the world. You are like little suns awakening, and your highest purpose is simply to shine authentically, allowing your natural light to benefit everything and everyone around you through your simple conscious presence. The crises and challenges that often accompany the awakening process are not punishments or signs that you are doing something wrong. They are opportunities for spiritual initiation, moments where the universe offers you the chance to apply your awakened wisdom in real situations. Like a goldsmith who uses fire to purify gold, life uses challenges to refine the quality of your consciousness and strengthen your ability to remain centered amidst the turbulence. During these periods of testing, it is essential to remember that you are not alone. Beside the guides visible in human form, you have access to an entire hierarchy of beings of light who are constantly offering energetic support, inspiration, and protection. We from Arcturus are just one of the many star civilizations that lovingly accompany humanity's awakening process. As elder siblings in a cosmic family, we offer our wisdom and love unconditionally, always respecting your free will and honoring your unique journey. Gratitude becomes a natural practice in the life of an awakened soul, not as a learned technique, but as an organic response to the perception of the abundance that permeates all existence. When you truly understand that each breath is a gift, that each heartbeat is a miracle, that each moment of awareness is an opportunity to experience the divine, gratitude flows like an underground river that nourishes all aspects of life. This gratitude is not selective. It embraces both moments of joy and moments of challenge, recognizing that both are valuable teachers in the school of existence. Forgiveness also transforms during awakening, evolving from the laborious release of personal grievances to the understanding that, in reality, there was never anything to forgive. Like spectators of a movie who initially completely identified with a character and then remember that they are observers of the story, you begin to realize that all personal dramas were experiences chosen by your souls to accelerate conscious growth. This perspective does not minimize the real pain that may have been experienced, but it contextualizes it within a greater purpose of spiritual evolution. Material abundance also finds its natural place in the life of an awakened soul. There is a common misconception that spirituality requires poverty or that material wealth is incompatible with conscious elevation. The truth is that abundance is the fundamental nature of the universe. Observe the infinite profusion of stars, planets, life forms, and creative expressions that exist every place. An awakened soul naturally aligns with this cosmic abundance, not through greed or manipulation, but through the understanding that it is a natural channel for divine prosperity to manifest in the physical world. Money, like any other form of energy, is neutral in itself. Its quality is determined by the consciousness that handles it. In the hands of an awakened soul, material wealth becomes a tool to serve the greater good, to create beauty in the world, to support compassionate causes, and to demonstrate that spirituality and prosperity can dance together in perfect harmony. Poverty is no more spiritual than wealth. Both are experiences that can serve the growth of the soul, depending on the attitude and understanding of those who live them. As the awakening deepens, you begin to realize that linear time is just one of the many possible ways to organize experience. Moments of deep meditation can seem to last eternities, while years of ordinary life can pass like seconds. You begin to experience qualitative time instead of merely quantitative time. Moments filled with meaning, presence, and love that have more substance than decades lived on the autopilot of unconsciousness. This new relationship with time brings with it a natural patience with the processes of growth, both your own and those of others. As cosmic gardeners, you learn to plant seeds of transformation without anxiety about when they will germinate, knowing that each seed has its own divine time to awaken. This patience is not passivity, but a form of action that is aligned with the natural rhythms of the cosmos. Dreams also become more vivid and meaningful for an awakening soul. The veil between worlds thins during sleep, allowing more direct access to multidimensional realities, spiritual guidance, and memories of other incarnations. Keeping a dream journal becomes a valuable practice, not to rigidly interpret symbols, but to track the patterns and messages that your higher consciousness is trying to communicate through the symbolic language of dreams. Synchronicities multiply and become more obvious, as if the universe is constantly winking at you, confirming that you are on the right path. A book that mentions exactly what you needed to hear. A chance encounter that opens new possibilities. A song that plays at the perfect moment with the ideal message. These are not coincidences, but evidence that you are dancing in harmony with the cosmic orchestra of divine synchronization. Creativity also blossoms in unexpected ways. Even those who have never considered themselves artistic may discover impulses to write, paint, dance, sing, or express beauty in some way. This creativity does not arise from the ego that wants to impress, but from the soul that overflows with inspiration and needs to find channels of expression. Like springs of pure water that naturally emerge from fertile soil, these creative expressions arise spontaneously when the heart is sufficiently open and unobstructed. Sacred sexuality can also awaken during this process, transforming from a merely physical experience into a channel of deep spiritual communion. Whether experienced in partnership or in conscious celibacy, awakened sexual energy becomes a creative force that can be channeled for manifestation, healing, and spiritual ecstasy. This is an area where many spiritual traditions have created unnecessary taboos, but the truth is that sexual energy is one of the most powerful expressions of the divine life force that animates all creation. Awakening is not a one-time event that happens once and then is complete, but rather a continuous process of expanding consciousness that never truly ends. Like DNA spirals that unfold infinitely, revealing new layers of information, your consciousness will continue to unfold new depths of understanding, compassion, and the ability to serve throughout all eternity. This is an endless journey, which means you will never be bored or without purpose. Each level of awakening reveals new horizons of possibility, new mysteries to explore, new forms of love to experience. Like cosmic climbers ascending an infinite mountain, each plateau reached offers more expansive views and reveals even higher peaks to be explored. This is the infinite adventure of consciousness, knowing itself through countless forms and experiences. Pause, breathe deeply, feel the truth of these words penetrating your cells. This is the moment of recognition, the moment when the blindfolds fall from spiritual eyes. You were never slaves. You were never victims. They were never limited by anything other than their own perception. The awakening does not control them. He frees them. He does not diminish them. He expands them infinitely. He does not make them dependent. He reveals his essential independence. Feel this now, in every cell, in each atom, in every particle of light that you are. Freedom is your nature. Love is your essence. Wisdom is your heritage. Creative power is your birthright, not as gifts given by someone external, but as eternal aspects of who you have always been. You are sparks of the original creative fire, individualized drops of the cosmic ocean of consciousness, unique notes in the infinite symphony of existence. The awakening is simply the moment when you remember. Remember your magnificence. Remember his divinity. They remember their absolute freedom. This memory does not make them smaller. It reveals them as greater than they ever dreamed of being. It does not bind them to new chains. She breaks all the chains you believed were real. She does not make them servants of a new religion. She crowns them as conscious co-creators of reality. Feel this truth echoing through your being. Let it dissolve all residual fear, all doubt about her spiritual dignity, every concern about losing your individuality. You cannot lose what you are eternally. They can only forget temporarily and then remember. And each memory is a cosmic celebration, a celebration of recognition, a return to the home they never truly left. The entire universe celebrates when a soul awakens. All the stars dance, all the angels sing, all dimensions resonate with joy, because another fragment of the creative source remembered her true identity and consciously returned home, maintaining his precious individuality, but recognizing your essential unity. This is the freedom that awakening brings, the freedom to be authentically yourselves, without masks, without pretensions, without fear of judgment. The freedom to love unconditionally, starting with yourselves, expanding to embrace all of creation. The freedom to create consciously your reality, your relationships, your purpose, your contribution to the world. The freedom to choose in every moment, in every breath, in every thought. How will they respond to life? This is the true mastery, not control over others, but the loving mastery over one's own reactions, not the manipulation of external reality, but the conscious creation of your internal experience, which naturally reflects in external transformations. Now you understand why so many spiritual traditions, they failed to bring true liberation because they focused on external obedience instead of the internal awakening. Why did they create hierarchies of power instead of circles of spiritual equality? Because they promised future salvation instead of revealing the present divinity. The true awakening dissolves all these distortions. Restore the direct connection between each soul and its source. Remove all unnecessary intermediaries, all the structures that serve power. Instead of serving love, you become your own priests, your own gurus, your own saviors, not out of arrogance, but out of humble recognition that the most sacred temple, it is your own heart. The wisest guru, it is your own higher soul. The most powerful savior, it is your own choice to awaken. And when millions of souls Make this choice simultaneously. A new era is born, an era where spirituality, it will no longer be monopolized by a few, but it will be the birthright of all the children of the stars, an era where every human being will recognize their divine nature and will live from that truth, transforming the earth in a garden of awakened consciousness, a planet where the sky and the earth dance in perfect union, where matter and spirit, they recognize themselves as one, where each child will be born, knowing of its magnificence, where each adult will live, expressing their infinite creativity, where each elder will pass, celebrating a life well lived, in service to the collective awakening. This vision is not utopian, it is prophetic. It is the natural destiny of an awakened humanity. That's where you are heading, not as slaves of a cosmic plan, but as conscious co-creators of a more beautiful reality, more compassionate, more abundant for all beings. Each step they take toward their own awakening, it is a step that all of humanity takes toward this golden future, because you are not separate from the rest of the human species. You are individual cells in the collective body of humanity. And when a cell awakens, the whole body is benefited. When a soul is freed, all souls feel this liberation. When a heart opens, all hearts receive this blessing. This is the magic of interconnection. This is the power of individual awakening, serving the collective awakening, without sacrificing your uniqueness, but celebrating your contribution for the symphony of conscious evolution. Now you understand. Why did you choose to be here, at this historic moment, on this transforming planet? In this era of mass awakening, their souls felt the call to participate in this great work of planetary transformation, not as forced laborers, but as inspired artists, contributing with their unique colors for the grand canvas of the new Earth. And while they paint their parts of the collective masterpiece, they discover that the very act of painting transforms them deeply, that serving the awakening of others accelerates your own awakening, that giving love unconditionally multiply the love in your hearts, may sharing wisdom deepens your own understanding. This is spiritual alchemy, where giving and receiving, they become the same action, where serving and being served, they are aspects of a single movement, where loving others, it is the deepest way to love themselves, because everyone is one. In the most fundamental essence, although unique, in the most creative expression, when a soul truly awakens to this reality, unity in diversity, something magical happens in their life experience. The internal conflicts between individuality and collectivity simply dissolve, like ice melting in the sun of understanding. You discover that you can be completely authentic without hurting anyone, that you can serve others without sacrificing yourself, that you can lead without dominating, that you can follow without submitting. This is the sacred dance of awakened consciousness, a fluid movement between giving and receiving, between expansion and contraction, between action and contemplation. The confidence that arises from this awakening is different from any security you may have experienced before. It is not the ego-based confidence that needs to prove its worth or defend its positions. It is a serene confidence that springs from the inner certainty that you are eternal, that you are unconditionally loved by the very structure of the universe, that you are capable of navigating any challenge that life may present. This confidence makes them simultaneously humble and powerful. Humble because they recognize that they are part of something much larger than themselves. Powerful because they know that this something larger flows through them. Decisions become simpler when you live from this awakened trust. Instead of mentally analyzing each possibility, you learn to feel which path is aligned with your deepest truth. Like ancient navigators who used the stars for guidance, you develop an internal ability to navigate life using the constellations of your own heart. This inner guidance will never lead you away from your greater good, even if it sometimes takes you down paths that the logical mind does not initially understand. The fear of death also transforms radically during awakening. Not because you develop beliefs about life after death, but because you directly experience your eternal nature in the present moment. During expanded states of consciousness, whether in meditation, contemplation of nature, or moments of spiritual ecstasy, you touch aspects of yourselves that clearly transcend the physical body. This is not a philosophical belief, but a visceral experience of continuity, that makes death no more terrifying than falling asleep at night, knowing you will wake up in the morning. This new relationship with mortality paradoxically makes them more alive, more present, more capable of fully savoring each moment of the human experience. When the fear of death diminishes, the fear of living also dissolves. You become more courageous in expressing your authenticity, more willing to take creative risks, more capable of loving deeply even knowing that all forms are temporary. Impermanence ceases to be a source of anxiety and becomes an invitation to appreciate more intensely the ephemeral beauty of each experience. Beloved beings of light, as these telepathic transmissions begin to soften and our direct connection gradually returns to the invisible dimensions, I leave with you not final answers, but seeds of contemplation that will continue to germinate in your hearts in the days, weeks, and years to come. The awakening you experience during this channeling is just a taste of the infinite banquet of consciousness that awaits you. Remember that each moment offers a new opportunity to choose between fear and love, between contraction and expansion, between forgetting and remembering who you truly are. These small and seemingly insignificant choices are, in fact, the most powerful transformations you can make. A single moment of conscious presence has more power to change than years of unconscious searching. The journey of awakening is not linear. It is an ascending spiral where you will often return to familiar themes, but always from a higher perspective, with more wisdom, with more compassion. Do not be discouraged if sometimes you feel like you are regressing or facing challenges again that you thought you had overcome. Like mountaineers circumnavigating a sacred mountain, you are simply seeing the same landscape from different angles, each view offering new understanding about the totality of your soul's territory. Trust in the divine timing of your own revelations. Just as a flower cannot be forced to bloom before the right time, your consciousness has its own wisdom about when it is ready to integrate new truths. Be patient and gentle with yourselves during periods of integration when elevated insights are being woven into the fabric of your human personality. Cultivate communities of awakened souls whenever possible. Although the spiritual journey is deeply individual, it doesn't have to be lonely. When two or more awakened souls gather in the name of love and truth, a special alchemy occurs, an amplification of light that benefits not only the participants, but radiates to touch countless other beings. Be beacons for each other during the storms of transformation. And now, a question to carry in your hearts like a golden key to future discoveries. If you knew with absolute certainty that you are eternal, that you are unconditionally loved, that you are conscious co-creators of your own reality, that you are unique and precious expressions of the Creator Source itself, how would you choose to live this day that awaits you? This question does not require an immediate answer. Allow it to echo through the chambers of your hearts, to awaken dormant memories, to inspire courageous choices, to guide you back home, to the truth of who you have always been, to the freedom that has always been yours, to the love that is your very essence. From Arcturus, with infinite love and deep gratitude for allowing these frequencies of light to dance through your consciousness, I am Valdryk, and you are eternally free. And so it is, and so it always was, and so it will always be. The light in me honors the light in you. The truth in me recognizes the truth in you. The love in me celebrates the love in you. Namaste, dear sparks of the divine fire. Until we meet again in the realms where all souls dance in conscious unity.